and point them in the right direction to help them get them back on their feet.
And we are also live on YouTube now. Awesome. That is going to be amazing.
We're live on YouTube right now as well. I just see the notification come up. And then let me just go ahead and just start to ping some people in here.
Awesome. Awesome. This is going to be good.
Are you muted, bro?
Yeah, this is going to be excellent. It's going to be excellent. Noel, Emily, are you all here as well?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. This sounds good. So the way that this works, we'll get some people in here, is that you essentially, once you come in, you'll come up to the stage. You will go ahead and send your resume over to BrandResumes, and then we'll go ahead and pull it up and then give you just some feedback and advice to hopefully be able to set you on the right direction. So I know we have some people joining in from the YouTube as well, which is going to be pretty exciting. So we're going to go ahead and get started.
Ats, if you want to have your resume with that, you can definitely bring yourself up to the stage. We can get to know you a little bit more about you and your career path that you're on, and see what we can do. Hear me?
Yes. How's it going? Good evening.
Hi, my name is Ats, and I'm a brand strategist, and looking to make some moves and update my resume. How are you both this evening?
I'm doing excellent, cannot complain. It's been a very, very, very busy week so far, but definitely hanging in there. My name is Brandon Mitchell, founder and CEO of BrandResumes.com. We are a career advancement company that's been really helping a ton of entry-level graduates, mid-professionals, and executives enhance their careers and really be able to kind of step into the new role. And so what we decided to do every week, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is to kind of jump on here and be able to just give the advice. We have a lot of resources and we help a lot of customers. But the beauty is that, it's all in the just kind of giving back. And so what we'll ask you to do is go ahead and send your resume over to team@brandresumes.com. We'll go ahead and pull it up, and we're also streaming on YouTube. And we'll ask you a few questions. And I'm also joined by, they're on the YouTube, Noel and Emily, who are also on the BrandResumes team. They work really, really closely with a lot of the resumes that we get across the team. And so the goal is for us to all give you the feedback and the guidance, and you can kind of take it and run with it. Okay?
Okay, I just hit send, so you might receive it soon.
Awesome. That sounds good. So we'll wait for that to come through, and then once it does, I will go ahead and share my screen and pull it up, and then we can go ahead and talk about your resume. But in the meantime, could you just give a quick background synopsis on who you are? Just, I know you said brand strategist, but a little bit more about, what you might be looking for in particular, just a little bit more context.
So I am currently interim head of corporate communications at change.org. I'm based in Washington, D.C., and I have a secondary role at change.org as a VP for staff representation for our staff board. Currently the only person on the C-level and the C-suite at change.org, and which is really fascinating. I'm most interested in sticking to my career as a brand strategist, so looking to make shifts into a brand director role, and to really help brands grow. So my background before at change.org, I ran my own consulting firm as an independent contractor through the city of Washington, D.C., helping small businesses led by women, minority-owned and elder-owned small businesses, helping to grow their businesses via brand strategy.
Awesome. Awesome. That sounds amazing. And kudos to you for, really getting up the ranks and being able to kind of get to where you're at now. And I think it's all about moving forward and moving up. And there may be certain things in your resume, your LinkedIn, that we can definitely give you some ideas on and to critique. Just want to say and give a big shout out to Leslie in the audience. Leslie is also a really amazing and really competent career coach / resume writer who is killing the game. And resume and Leslie, what we're doing is free resume reviews. So we're streaming on YouTube, but then also people get to come up and give that and send their resumes, and we're going to go ahead and kind of deep dive. So let's jump into it. Emily, Noel, do you all see her resume?
Yeah, sure do. And I think Emily and I are both excited. Well, I know I am, and I'm sure Emily would agree. We both actually do a lot of the communications and brand and marketing resumes. We assist our writers with those, but also do them ourselves. So I'm excited to take a look at your resume because I'm very passionate about the field of communications from all the different angles. So
awesome. And so can we all see it? I know I just shared my screen.
Yeah. Emily, can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so first things first, I would say that this is a really interesting format. It's one that we've seen quite often. I would say this is more like a stylistic format in a sense. I see how from a branding perspective that this can be, really nice on the eyes per se, with kind of like the kind of color schemes, the way that it's shaped. But the first things I'm going to talk about is just from an ATS perspective, which is the applicant tracking system, which you may or may not be super familiar with. And again, it depends. At your level, you may be submitting your resume to roles that will go through an ATS, but then also may just kind of get passed on to someone who's going to look at it, which could be a headhunter or just like a hiring manager. But the first things first is I do see that you have a photo on your resume, which is typically a big no-no when it comes to the ATS and just passing those systems, just so that when it's being parsed, it doesn't kind of then put your work experience where your skills should be and your education where your content information should be per se. So first things first, although it is such an amazing smile and I'm loving it, typically you do want to keep photos on your LinkedIn profile because it definitely can hurt your ATS compatibility and your ATS scores. What I'm also looking at is when it comes to the bullet points, and I think that this is an area where a lot of times we struggle with writing really, really effective bullet points, but they're just a little bit too short. And also you don't have as many bullet points as you should as a vice president and at that executive level. On average, you want to aim for about 4 to 6 bullet points per work experience, which might sound like a lot, but it's not, depending on how you format your resume and how you put it all together. And so I would definitely suggest to add some more bullet points. But then when I'm just looking at it, what I'm missing is the numbers and the quantification. I'll just take a simple example because I feel like there's so much that you're doing and we could probably talk about a lot more. But when I'm reading it, it's just a little light on just the impact and the results piece of it, right? And I'll just take this bullet point: coordinated brand activities between product development, campaigns, and user engagement. And when I read that, I'm like, there's probably a lot behind that, but I'm thinking about, okay, like what type of brand activities? You say product development. Can we talk about what type of products? Were there marketing campaigns? Was these digital marketing? Was this mail campaigns? And then user engagement. Did you then increase user engagement? Is there any metrics that we can talk about? How many people were you servicing, or how many, let's say, people did this impact? And so I'm always going for the quantification and for the bigger picture, but it's just a little bit hard to kind of gauge that.
I'd like to add something in here too. I obviously agree with Brandon. We work on the same team and follow the same methods and processes, but I think something that I would aim to do if I was your resume writer is say, okay, so are there 1 to 3 actual campaigns that you oversaw brand management or the brand activities for? So can you produce 4 accomplishments and have 4 bullets, each one having one specific project that you did, or maybe one overarching one that says the number. But a key thing for you to do is going to be, if you're looking for brand director roles, put yourself in the shoes of someone hiring for that role and include the key content and accomplishments that showcase that you can get things done that a brand manager needs to get done. So even if you oversaw the brand activities for product development, what key things did you accomplish in that experience that could showcase your ability to get that work done in a new role. So that's like a really good way or good angle to come at developing new content in a resume.
That's really helpful.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
another thing in regard to formatting. So sometimes what we tell clients when they come to us with a resume like this style is we create an ATS optimized resume. So that means, you know, no text boxes, no standard templates. It has to be basically a Word-based document. And you can use shading and things to add some color. So like if you hired us, that's what we would do. But then you could absolutely copy and paste the content that we create back into something stylish like this and use this when you send it via a warm connection, such as via email or, you know, in a LinkedIn message. So it's not to say that you can't use a creative format. We understand the importance of that when you're someone who's in such a creative field as you are. Like if this is your brand, this is important. But if you're going to be applying through like a job board or through a company's website, having that ATS optimized format is going to be really important to ensure that the applicant tracking system isn't scanning your resume and seeing no content because it's, you know, a PDF with text boxes or an image, because those systems cannot read those elements in a resume.
Hey, Asa, I know I'm a little late to the class, but I'm a little late to the party, but there's something else that I see that's on the resume that you should definitely.
Ahmed, there's a pretty decent echo on you.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk through the Zoom then?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay. So, well then Brandon needs to put on his mic on the Clubhouse so she can hear me talk. Okay, we're. So as I'm looking at, giving off the feedback, so. I think so. Okay, I'm just gonna get it off my chest. You don't have your location on this resume. So if you go to your contact information, you just really have your email, your phone number, that's great. But when it comes to these ATS softwares, they also parse you from your location. You know, I know everything's virtual now, so that's kind of like a small thing, but you know, before pre-COVID, people really also parsed your resume to see if you were in the ideal location for their you know, work, if it's on site or not. So that's just, you know, 2 cents I give you.
Yeah, and so Ansa, with all this said, have you put this out there just yet, or are you still in kind of like the beginning phases of just kind of trying to get it right before you go ahead and like apply?
I'm actually, like, I was interested in talking to you all because I have put it out there and I haven't been getting bites, whereas it could be a little confusing because the main role, my VP role, isn't very specific to a brand career. So I was worried that maybe that would throw me off a little bit as far as being marketable. But then at the same time, like, everything that you all are mentioning is stuff that I hadn't been counseled on before. And I'm wondering if I haven't been getting any bites, whereas previously, like, I have not had a hard time kind of shifting from organization to organization, and now I'm realizing it's been really tough. It could be because of all these things that you're mentioning. and that because I was like, it can't be me.
Yeah, we can tell from looking at your resume that you're clearly qualified for the roles that you're or I can tell from the way you're speaking and your experience that you're very well qualified, but I think your resume doesn't do you justice. And I mean, if you don't ever want to do this yourself, we love to help people like you. You are such an excellent client. You know, you have the experience, and transforming your resume for clients in your position is one of our favorite things to do. But yeah, it sounds like from what you're describing that it might be kind of a formatting and content that's really kind of preventing you from getting the bites on those roles that you're actually probably qualified for.
What is the process for working with you all?
Yeah,
that's a great question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Brian.
I can definitely talk through that. So the way that we work is we'd probably take it off of Clubhouse. We'll send you we'll have your email. We'll send you a link to just book a one-on-one. You could just deep dive a little bit more into it, and we can talk you through the whole process, especially just, again, get to deep dive a little bit more into exactly what you're looking for. And so the way that it typically works is that once somebody decides to work with us, you get access to an entire customer portal where you'll then, fill out a brief questionnaire where we're going to ask you a little bit more about what you're looking for. We'll talk about your professional history to dig a little bit deeper, because we do need to go a little bit deeper than just what you have on your resume. And then we essentially send you some really targeted and unique follow-up questions to just get more information from you, because we're probably going to dig even deeper than that. And then we get you back that first draft resume. And since you're at the executive level, it will be a complete transformation from what we're looking at. And then you actually get to rate the resume. So you can say 1 through 5. You can give some feedback on revisions. It's unlimited revisions. It's not like a cap or anything like that. And then once you say, look, this is amazing, I love it, I'm signing off, then if you did want us to look at your LinkedIn, we can do that. But that's just the regular resume writing process. And sometimes it does help just having a professional with a kind of unbiased set of eyes and someone who does this a lot look at it. So yeah, we could definitely shoot you over, but we'll get on like a 10-15 minute call and maybe talk about that. But yeah, I think that I really love where you're going, and I think it could definitely be helpful, especially if you've never worked with a professional resume writer before as well.
That'd be wonderful. Like, I would love to hear more.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and reach out. But yeah, I hope that even if you don't decide to work with us one-on-one, that you take some of this feedback and you run with it.
Yeah, and if you follow us on Instagram, we also typically provide a lot of like random tips and posts and things like that. So if you just want to get some like general insight that way, that's a great way to connect with us too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that I joined.
Absolutely. We're so glad you joined.
So I hope this was helpful. Ken, what's going on? Hope you're doing good. If you do want to come up to the stage, feel free to do so. We're gonna pick some more people in here, but no, that was good. I know we have someone else who was on the YouTube, which we don't know why he wasn't able to get in, but hopefully he is able to kind of get it going, because he was requesting a resume review. But yeah, I think that was good. Victor, what's going on? We are doing free resume reviews. If you do come up to the stage, we'll ask a little bit more about you. You can send your resume over to us. We are the BrandResumes team, resume experts who specialize in a lot of different industries, a lot of different types of resumes. And we're going to give you some unbiased feedback on how you could better, word your resume and potentially your LinkedIn profile as well.
Is there a way to do this? What's going on, Ken? How are you? What's going on, Ken? How y'all doing? All right, sir. Yeah, sure. Blessing, highly favored. How's it going, Ken? Great. Yeah. The grind don't stop. Y'all already know. Definitely does. Appreciate you tuning in. You know how we gotta support each other. That's how we grow. That's how we win. For sure, bro. So yeah, if you want to send in your resume, the email is in Brandon and Ahmed's bios. It's the first sentence right there. You can slip it out to that email, and then they'll pull it up, and we can get started on it. Just give you some good constructive feedback.
Colton, what's going on? We are doing free resume reviews. If you come up to the stage, we'll definitely want to learn a little bit more about you and your background. And then if you send over your resume to the email in my bio, we'll be able to pull it up and give you some feedback. We are BrandResumes. We are a career advancement and resume writing firm, and we help a lot of folks. So we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Just want to give some good advice and guidance to the people. Bridget, you as well, if you are looking to transition, if you're looking for a job, we are resume experts. We have a lot of expertise. We work with clients on a daily basis. If you come up to the stage, you will be right after Colton, and we'll go ahead and I'll get to you as well. Colton, what's going on, man?
He left. But yeah, there he is. Yeah, if you could repeat yourself, Colton, you're really hard to hear me. We got Bridget anyways. How are you, Bridget? Oh, Bridget took his spot.
I'm sorry, I thought I had to mute on. I write resumes as well, like just for free. And I was just curious about the room. I don't have any questions. So.
Bridget, for free? What's going on there?
It's not my honestly. And I guess I've just never figured out how to turn. At one point, I thought about creating a book because I definitely had probably 200 where like 75 of them are mine when I was job hunting on my computer. But yeah, I just was curious to see if I could, what was going on.
So,
I saw it pop up.
Yeah, so Bridget, we're actually a professional resume writing company, and when I started the business, I was just doing it from a freelancing perspective, like a lot of us, and we were able to definitely make some leaps and bounds in terms of kind of getting to where we're at. And not sure if you've been following me, but definitely follow me on Instagram. It's in my Clubhouse bio, Brandon_the Resume Guru. I actually teach people just like you who've been helping people for a long time and have never monetized the skill set, how to effectively do that. Funny enough, I just did a webinar 2 days ago on how to create a profitable resume writing business, which I think you could have definitely enjoyed, maybe got some insight. But if it's something that you're potentially thinking about, if you have the skill set, I would 100% say to potentially tap in with me, and I can send you over some information because it's definitely a growing field, and it's great because you can do it around your 9 to 5. It doesn't have to be your primary thing, but if you're already good at it and if you've been thinking about potentially monetizing it, I would definitely love to talk to you.
Hey Ken, did you shoot over that resume, by the way?
Yeah, Brady, I'll do that.
Ken, are you still with us? Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm at the firehouse doing something, so I hopped in just to support y'all. So, gotcha. If you could pick some people in the room, that'd be amazing.
Henry, what's going on? What's going on? We're doing free resume reviews. We're the Brand Resumes team looking to help people out right now. If you're looking to transition, looking for a new job, looking to just get an opinion on your resume, we are resume and career coaching experts. So please go ahead and come up to the stage, give us a little bit more of a background on who you are, your background, and then we'll go ahead and jump into your resume review.
Yeah, I do have a resume. I've been working on it recently, of course, because I'm transitioning into maybe a new area of expertise. So I've been working on my resume, but it would be nice to probably get a look at just to see how it is.
For sure. So there's a link in my bio, team@brandresumes.com. Just go ahead and forward it over there. We're also streaming right now on YouTube Live. So we'll go ahead and pull it up. We'll give you some good feedback, and then we'll be able to take it from there. Awesome.
He's a Capricorn. Fellow Capricorn, bro.
Nice.
You got to fix that feedback, man. I don't know what's going on, but that feedback is crazy.
Yeah, how do I fix the feedback? I gotta change my frequency.
Good. Now, if you just talk through like this
Wait, you can give us some.
But now you're not projecting on Clubhouse.
Where you looking to transition into?
Okay, hello? Henry.
Is your phone on speaker on it?
So Clubhouse makes your phone on speaker.
You feel like the past probably
Maybe that's why. I
years,
don't
but
know.
with the whole pandemic and everything, of course, a lot of stuff has shifted. So I'm looking to just basically still just see what else is out there that I can qualify for and just to see where I can go with it. Gotcha. And we definitely helped several clients in the hospitality industry. So once you get a look at your resume, we can definitely see what we can do for you.
Henry, if you go on my Instagram, I dropped a video on keyword optimization for the hospitality industry. That would definitely be very helpful for you for what you're doing right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely gonna look at that. Yeah, so whatever you send over the resume, just let us know, and then eventually we'll get started and break it down.
I pinged so many people that Clubhouse banned me from pinging people.
YouTube and on Clubhouse, as you can see, this is just every Wednesday at 8, just on so currently looking for any jobs, you feel like your resume and your LinkedIn need to kind of spice it up, then even here, your professional resume writing and career-based service. So if you're interested, definitely bring yourself up and we can see how we can help you.
Yep, just waiting for that resume. And Jerry, definitely come up to the stage as well. Well, Jerry, you got it interesting. I run Job Hunting U. Would definitely love to learn what that is since you might be in the same industry. So definitely come up. We'd love to talk about that after we do this free review for Henry. Yes, it's right in. If you click on my bio, team at BrandResumes.com.
Doing well.
Yeah, I'm just exploring this clubhouse app. I think Brandon mentioned that I run Job Hunting U and just do events and all kinds of different things with the website, and wondering if it'd be smart to kind of set up a weekly little I don't know, club or whatever the hell you call these things. I'm sorry, I think I've been this and help job seekers land interviews and job offers, and see that you guys are doing some of that and just swing in,
Awesome. And what exactly is Job Hunt U?
We help job seekers land interviews and job offers by skipping HR, finding decision makers online and engaging them directly. So instead of actually applying to jobs online, we find decision makers on LinkedIn, send them voice messages and videos, and try to build a relationship and really find.
Is it a free resource? Is this like a paid program?
Lead magnets, go online the website and download it, right?
Okay.
But ultimately, I do things like one-on-one clients, I do group coaching, monthly memberships, and a couple of different income streams. But right now in the pandemic, obviously, job hunting has changed, but the fundamentals are still present, right?
Awesome. Yeah, we would love to talk to you more about that. Maybe potentially could work out a partnership because we do the resume, LinkedIn stuff, the actual work, and obviously you got to break in, but then that's also going to be part of the factor, right? Unless you're doing that as well, we'd love to talk to you about that as well.
Doing that, I mean, I think in 2021, you don't really need a black and white 8 by 11 resume. Your LinkedIn profile more about you than your resume. Instead, I mean, sometimes an HR person asks you for a resume, so I always recommend just going to graphicriver.net and getting something together. But really, I'm more about the KPIs and the results. Like, are you getting interviews? Are you getting job offers? Yes or no? Because if you're not, then everything else is fluff. So it's kind of the job postings. They need to get an interview within 72 hours, and if it's a company, then it's much easier, because you just get to build relationships, and you don't have to have a call to action. You just want to keep on continuing the conversation. So I think there's some natural synergies there, because it sounds like you guys are really working on the kind of identity materials and the marketing materials and all the fundamentals that are needed to sell yourself, like resume building, LinkedIn profile, right? All that fun stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and connect with Jerry. Amit's our VP of Sales and Strategy. But Henry, let's go ahead and jump in. We got your resume, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it up. And we're gonna hopefully. And Henry, if you want to, I don't know if you gave the guidance just yet, but what job titles are you looking for right now?
Looking to transfer more out of the hospitality and more into like executive assistants, because in my area where I live at now in Phoenix,
I see a lot of positions cater more to executive assistants or admins to CEOs. So that's where I'm looking more to go to right now.
Awesome. Awesome. So great. So Amit, Emily, I have the resume pulled up. If you all want to go ahead and go in before I do, that would be definitely welcomed.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect, perfect. So as I'm looking at this resume, I should really pull it up on my own screen. But as I'm looking at it from what's Brandon showing me, I definitely do see some things that need some improvement. Like this isn't the worst resume that we've seen, but it definitely could use some work, right? For instance, for your position, I strongly believe that you shouldn't have a resume longer than a page. Like you can really condense a lot of this information, but also maximize, the margins on the resume, and still deliver that message, right? You in the executive assistant, role that you're in, it's really, the number signs, the dollar signs, the percentiles, in any way that you can quantify your key accomplishments. That's what's really going to drive this resume. I don't believe you should clearly say out, your key accomplishments. I think you should just really demonstrate that within the bullet points that you develop more, right? So you want to kind of take like what we like to call the XYZ approach and say you did X, which led to Y, which resulted in Z, right? And you really want to be able to do that within 4 to 5 bullet points per job section. But also you could save some space by cutting down on, your professional summary, as well as, I have the resume over in front of me now. I was looking at it from the Zoom, but yeah, a lot of these other past roles, I don't think that you really need to focus on them. Mainly focus on the roles that really go with the type of position that you're aspiring to really receive, right?
One other key thing I would bring up is you have some formatting issues, like you have some periods on some bullet points and no periods on others. So it might make sense to make sure that everything is streamlined and it's very consistent, because that's like one of those small things that's like, he didn't even take the amount of time to just make sure everything looks consistent. So those things definitely do matter when it comes to a formatting perspective on your resume. And I also see that you're missing a skill section, which I think is pretty critical. Not only can you probably do this in one page, but you can also, by condensing and not having about a little bit of a paragraph before, or 3 lines before each job title or after each job title, you can definitely fit this on one page. And we do need a skill section here as well. Now, have you put this out there just yet, and has it been working for you? Where are you at in the overall process?
No, I haven't put it out yet. I've just been tweaking a lot of stuff before I start actually applying to some jobs.
Got it. Yeah. And I think that's really critical. So yeah, those are some small things. Emily, do you see anything that you want to add in?
I was just going to say, in addition to a lot of what Amit said, I am seeing data, which is really great in some of your bullet points on the first page. However, you're not really providing any details or context for how you were able to reach these achievements. So as a hiring manager, I may be kind of confused at exactly what it is you did to get that result. And I may have a lot of questions for you that other candidates might have answered for me already in their bullet points. So when you're crafting these bullet points, you not only want to provide data, but you want to provide context for how you accomplish that. But I think that was really my only additional bit of advice, along with everything both you and Amit said already.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Sacha, I see that you, or I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. I see that you're also a headhunter. So Henry's looking to transition from the hospitality industry to the to the I guess executive / administrative assistant. So if you want to potentially give some advice or guidance, feel free to do so as well. Yes.
Hey everyone. Yeah, thanks for making me join. I mean, first and foremost, I just want to make sure I'm able to be able to offer any sort of advice because my field is in a different sector. I specialize in assisting accounting professionals all the way up to executive level. So could you remind me of what you are looking for at this point? I mean, because a lot of my skill sets and a lot of my past positions, I've worked with executives and the CEOs of the hotel, like the hotel I just left, I worked on their board meetings. So I just want to move into more of like executive roles and for like CEOs or different types like that. And I see a lot of those positions open in my area. So I just want to move into that area. Yeah. Yeah. Well, executive recruiting is definitely a different ball game in the sense where it will, from experience anyway, take a lot longer as a cycle, but it's incredibly more rewarding fee-wise. So I think there are two ways to go on about it. You can start from scratch in terms of your client base and you just look for executive positions, or you work with the clients that you already have and you kind of see if there are opportunities for you to collaborate with executive needs, because there are always going to be transition plans, succession plans, etc., and that's where the executive space is at. Now, of course, it's a different sector to mine, but I think the principle remains the same. So I hope that kind of helped or shed some light. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, so those are some of the key things that I think that you definitely want to look at as you're going about this transition, and to just maybe switch up before you go ahead and send it out more. And if you feel like you're struggling and you're not getting anywhere, we also have a free ebook that I would implore you to go ahead and get. It's called 7 Secrets to Land Your Dream Job. It's right on our website. It's a 19-page ebook that we put out last year on all the resume, cover letter, interviewing, LinkedIn tips that we talk about on a daily basis. You can get it for free. It's pretty amazing. I think it could be a great resource. And if you feel like you're still struggling, definitely feel free to reach out to our team as well. We do a lot of executive assistants, a lot of administrative assistants, things like that. But I think that your content is almost there, but you definitely do need some of these tweaks, and I would highly recommend slimming it down to 1 page. So it's just nice, and with 5+ years of experience, it's not too much. You can definitely do this in 1 page.
I'll definitely check out the ebook too.
Awesome, for sure. Henry, thank you so much. Maurice, what's going on?
With us, Henry.
Nothing much. I just tapped in. I saw Amit here, so I decided I would come in and hear what information was being shared. I'm just in a position as to where with the resumes, my method of my resume, well, really when I'm doing an application, I will look at the qualifications for the job that I'm applying for, and I won't naturally copy and paste the whole job, but I will take key points out of the job description that I'm applying for. Then I would incorporate that into my resume, so that the resume or the applicant picking system will pick my name. But I've had quite a few interviews over the past years, and I've also acquired quite a few jobs. But now I'm at a point as to where I want to finish my master's. I'm going to finish my master's, and then I'm going to go back into the job search. And that's really it. But as far as resumes, I always do the resume myself, and I'll use the document off of Word. So when, a resume builder is definitely something that I would be interested in once I receive my master's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I want to get to that department head, director within the government over the public space. That's my ultimate goal. But I know that I have to finish my master's before I will be qualified fully for one of those positions.
Hey, Morris, sorry to interject. I'm just trying to understand what sort of position are you looking to secure?
After I receive my master's of public administration, I'm looking for like a director of, say, public works or a director of public utilities. That's my ultimate goal.
Okay, and you think that it heavily depends on you attaining your master's degree?
Yes.
I would know nothing about this, to be honest, but honestly, I wouldn't, but I got work experience. And one thing so I just encourage you to just make sure that you highlight your practical experience in the clearest way possible. Now, whether the qualification is only you would know, but everything else I think just comes down to having the right formatted structure.
Okay, now is there, I would say over the past 7 years, I've had four positions. They're basically from the lower echelon of the ladder, and I just moved up to supervisor, supervisor 2, and now I'm an inspector. Is there such a thing as having too many positions within a short period of time? And how was that looked upon by someone looking at my resume?
I would say that there is nothing wrong with having a clear display of progression in your resume showing that you've attained new positions, as long as they make sense in a way where you're shown progression. And things can happen, especially in this pandemic. Nobody can guarantee securing a job, but I think what's important to show is a clear track record of progression. I don't think there's such a thing as having too many jobs anymore. I think it's much more to do with what you've been trying to achieve, and sometimes it can take a few promotions to get there, and naturally that's going to show on your resume. So as long as you're not going backwards, I think in terms of your experience, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But
Well, thank you for the information. It's really appreciated.
No, you're welcome, and good luck. I hope it works out for you, Morris.
Yes, it will. It will. Thank you.
Awesome. And yeah, Sacha, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, would definitely love to talk more about the work that you do as well. I come from an accounting background. I spent a lot of my time at PwC. What we do is we help people obviously with their professional branding kind of get in check. So I'm sure that you're probably seeing a lot of candidates who could definitely use a facelift before you present them over to the agencies and things like that. So definitely just kind of talked about that. Definitely check out our website. I think there could be something there. And Eric, what's going on? I see that you help attorneys find talent, which is also kind of in our spectrum, in our wheelhouse. And I'm based out of Jersey too. I'm in Bayonne right now.
All right. Yeah, thanks. This is anytime I see anything with careers or recruiting or LinkedIn, I join it on here. So yeah, this is fantastic. And I'm in the legal world, so I help law firms hire attorneys, paraprofessionals, as well as I'm doing quite a bit of work in the world of taking solo attorneys, where maybe it's them and a paraprofessional, and merging them with a slightly larger firm as that attorney becomes close to retirement. So this is great. I'm always looking for resume writers as well for my clients. I don't do any resume writing. Yeah, let's definitely connect.
Yeah, we specialize in the legal field, and actually we just got this one client. She runs her own law firm in Jersey. She very close to Rutgers, and she's looking to transition back into back into corporate, potentially like a general counsel role, or something else. So yeah, and she's like a high level, so that could be something to maybe talk to you about. But yeah, we work with a lot of people in the legal field, so definitely would love for you to connect with Amit. Perhaps he's our VP of Sales and Strategy, and maybe get on the call and talk about that. I think there's a lot of room for partnerships when it comes to being a resume writer kind of career coach. Last year we helped over like 950 customers. So I mean, we're always helping people, and looking for ways in which we can partner. So I think that could be pretty cool.
That's great. Thank you.
So
Brandon, you talked about coming from the Big Four, from PwC. Did I hear that correct?
Yes, that's where I started my career, right in New York City. And I didn't go to CPA route. I was on the consulting side, more of the advisory practice, but I'm still very connected with a lot of the partners, a lot of the directors, stuff like that out of the Manhattan office, and just overall. I came from like the whole internship program all the way through and through. But for me, and what happened to me is that although public accounting and accounting in general is really great, I had a bigger passion rather than building systems and kind of being a PM and stuff like that. So we went ahead and launched BrandResumes back in May of 2019. And now it's awesome because we get to help a lot of people on the career side potentially break in, whether it's the Big Four, whether it's public, whether it's investment banking or any other field. We have a pretty strong depth. And we're actually looking to talk to a lot of recruiters and headhunters in the near future because of the software company that we also run, something called writec.com. We not only are we on the resume writing kind of career coaching side, we also launch software in the industry. And so the idea is that it's a platform that helps resume writers and career coaches manage the orders and how we write the resumes and stuff. And it's kind of blowing up right now. And what we eventually want to do is open it up to headhunters and recruiters to be able to pull from this kind of curated candidate pool that's not like an Indeed, not like a regular career fair job board, of people who just kind of got their resumes done. So obviously they're probably more they're probably the readiness for them to be hired is a little bit higher. They're not kind of cold prospects that you might be reaching out to. And believe it or not, a lot of times resume writers, we write a lot of VP executives, C-suite folks. So that can be pretty interesting. So we're looking to probably get a focus group of some folks who might be interested. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Sounds really interesting. When I started my career, and I still apply the same principle in terms of resume writing, I spend a lot of time formatting each resume, and that usually involves, a completely new template where I include a synopsis about the candidate, and that would be 3-4 lines describing the technical skills, what the person is looking for, and just make it very industry specific. But I also try to be very transparent about the compensation, the expectations, the notice period, everything, because the goal is to just kind of be as black and white as possible and not have any gray areas to kind of keep momentum going. But I suppose that only happens when you do take the time to speak to candidates properly and really understand what they are looking for, maybe what kind of the story is behind the resume. I started my journey really as a recruitment consultant in London, in England. Decided to kind of just do my own thing because I just saw things a little bit differently, but the principles remain the same. I think that you have to work ethically, and to be able to show that you're an ethical recruiter, you have to be able to show that you're capable of listening, but also being a consultant above all else. So nicely with resume writing as well, because you're responsible for representing your candidates to your clients, and I just think what you guys are doing is obviously good if you can use technology to assist and aid that. I spent a good 20 minutes on each resume just to make sure that it's the right thing.
Right.
And it takes a lot of my time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why the role is pretty critical, because again, it would be nice if you could just get resumes that were just freaking amazing that you didn't have to touch. You could just hand it to a potential client and say, here you go, and they'll just kind of jump through the roof. So that's the idea behind the software piece. So we'll definitely have to talk to you, because like I said, when we finish with resumes and we kind of write them, they're amazing, right? So we're hopefully trying to get this whole this database, not to compete with like an Indeed, but to just have a really interesting source of high quality resumes and candidates who obviously, if they've taken the initiative to pay someone to write their resume, they're probably 100% likely to be, ready to get going, ready to relocate because they're looking for a job, right? Investing in your professional development and your brand is big, and so would definitely love to explore that. But that's pretty awesome. I like that you started there, and you also saw that there was a bigger market for yourself. So do you typically only work with executives, or is it also some of the entry level folks as well?
Yeah, I work across all levels. I started specifically for the accounting sector, but I would say specifically for tax. So I used to look for individuals who were tax managers, tax seniors, or anybody who had the title of tax, I suppose. Then I kind of expanded to assurance, advisory services, forensic accounting, state and local tax, you name it. But it doesn't matter now, whichever level it is. So I've worked on executive positions, but I've also worked on junior positions. I've worked on bookkeepers, I've worked on managers. And I think that for me, I'm just comfortable having the flexibility of having a hand in everything. And that just comes with time and experience.
Very true. Very, very, very well said. That's awesome. And do you help people? Is it mainly in the UK, or you also work with the US market as well?
I work on the US market. I started in the UK.
Oh, awesome.
The UK, to my knowledge, is a very saturated market. So I learned my trade there. But the reason why I left, or I'd rather say I was made to leave my previous position, was because there was just a lot of difference into what I wanted to do. And I did some business research of my own, and I thought the US obviously is huge. The market at the time, I started in 2015. Recruiters always existed, but I thought that to be niche, to be kind of a specialist in your field, is always going to be welcome, and you just have a lot more exposure. So the bulk of my clients are actually on the West Coast, but we managed to kind of expand pretty much everywhere, so East Coast, Central Zones. So I live in the UK, I live in London, I'm talking to you guys, it's 2 a.m., and that's typically for me right now to be on my desk. I tend to work long hours, so that's the kind of lifestyle that we've chosen. So I tend to start, afternoon time in the UK, and I finish around now-ish.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you don't mind, could you just walk us? I love talking to headhunters. Everybody has their own process. Could you just walk us through like your process of like how many resumes are you looking at per day? Like, how do you go about kind of finding the right fits for your clients?
Yeah, so I think depending on the assignment that I'm looking at, it's going to be a case of first and foremost looking at my own resources. I use Bullhorn as a CRM, where I store the bulk of the candidates that I've already worked with. If